Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hello. Oh, God. What is keeping me up? Have you ever... how should I phrase this? What's keeping me up is probably an ulcer. I'm fairly certain I have a pretty good size ulcer going on. And I think the ulcer is from relationships. Whether it's family or significant others or friends, relationships can be complicated. They can be difficult. They can be frustrating, and they can be happy, and they can be sad, and they can be exhilarating and wonderful and all of that. And if you're in a relationship as far as with a partner, a significant other, obviously there's going to be some tension once in a while. There are going to be some arguments sometimes, and that's normal. You're supposed to have those. But more often than not, you're supposed to support each other and communicate and make each other laugh. And, for everything that one of you is not great at, the other person is good, all that stuff. And I have been notoriously terrible with picking out the right person. I stay in relationships way too long because I'm loyal to a fault. And I always pick people that are either mentally and or physically abusive, and that are usually controlling, and jealous and cheat, or are alcoholics. I'm just one of those cliche idiots. It's not that I'm purposely trying to pick out the bad guy or the bad person. I just do. And I'm just tired of it. I'm so sick of trusting people that obviously I shouldn't trust. You can't really trust an addict that's still using. You can't really trust someone that doesn't think that they're abusive physically or mentally, someone that makes excuses for that all the time, someone that lies behind your, lies and then swears up and down that you're just crazy. And they gaslight you and they make you feel like you are just horrible for thinking that they would lie to you or that they would drink behind your back. And how dare you? And you can smell the alcohol, and everyone can smell the alcohol. And you see all the shadiness. You see all the excuses and I'm going to be really late. I'm going to be late because of this. And I'm going to be late because of that. And just late. And oh, gosh, this is really weird. I got all turned around and lost. Oh my gosh, there was traffic. Oh my gosh, there was this. I didn't plan that. Oh my gosh, my counselor made my appointment. She kind of squeezed me in and she didn't really have time. And so it ran late and I didn't really know when I was going to get in. I mean, for you to use your counselor as an excuse, you're definitely going to hell. To drink on your way out of counseling, you're probably going to hell. To swear up and down that your partner is crazy and a bitch and a horrible person because they asked if possibly you may be drinking because maybe they found alcohol and maybe they've seen the alcohol, they've found it and they've smelt it. And maybe that person's parent even noticed without even being around that person or seeing that person. They just noticed a huge difference in personality and noticed all of the um, common traits that you get when you're an addict and you start using again. But addicts always think they're so slick. They think that they're so smart and that they are going to be the first addict to like get away with stuff. But again, the first thing that goes when you drink and the first thing that goes when you do drugs is what? Your judgment. Your judgment is the first thing out the window. So of course you think that you're being sly and you think you're getting away with stuff and that you've covered all your bases, but more often than not, you're being an idiot and everyone sees it. It's like that dog, that really gigantic dog that thinks that if they go really slowly and put one paw up on the bed and another paw up on the bed, and that they slowly slink onto the bed or slowly slink onto the couch and one paw on the couch. And then a couple minutes later, another paw. And if they do it slowly, that somehow we're not going to notice the gigantic, Saint Bernard that's on the couch. It's like that. Or if you think that if you you're breaking into someone's house and if you freeze that suddenly they're not going to see you when you're standing right in front of them. But if you don't move, they won't see you. That's what it's like. And it's insulting to people's intelligence. Like when you are being so blatant and it's so obvious that you're lying that every damn person knows, but apparently you, that you're lying. And you honestly think that you fooled everybody, how insulting. Like you really think that I'm that much of a moron or that your coworkers or your family or your friends are that big of idiots? Like nobody knows you, no one is around you, no one notices patterns or no one notices things that are different. No one sees fifths or pints of alcohol or um White Claws or beers or whatever. No one smells it. No one has a sense of smell. No one can see that your eyes are glazed over and you're all flushed. No one can notice that your attitude is shit and it's exactly like it is when you do that thing, that addiction, when you drink or do drugs or whatever it is. Like we notice these things because we're around you and we're not the ones that are impaired. We're not the ones that are drinking or doing drugs. And then when that person has the audacity to turn around and be like, what? How dare you? I know I said that same thing on my last podcast, but it's just insanely insulting and hurtful and infuriating that these people think not only that they can get away with it, they think that they did get away with it. They think that we are incredibly stupid and they don't give a shit about us. Because again, they're addicts. So all they care about is their next fix or their next drink or whatever it is they're addicted to, their next gambling or their next whatever. So they're narcissistic. So now all of us are putting up with that. And then I'm like, but why? And then it's because I'm like, well, I kind of feel trapped because it's like that woman or a man that decides to stay home with the kids. Whoever decides to stay home with the kids because they can't afford daycare and maybe the other person makes more money and they've just made an agreement. Hey, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to, care for the house and the kids because we can't afford daycare right now. And if I were to work, it would just cost us more in daycare. So the smarter thing would be for me to stay home and you to go to work. And that was a mutual decision. So then one person's making all the money. Well, let's say now those people get divorced. I understand what alimony is in the sense that if It was a mutual understanding that, hey, one person will stay home and take care of the children and the home, and the other person will go to work, that the money is both. The money is for both people. So it's frustrating then when, I get what alimony is in those circumstances. I don't feel it's necessary, though, if you're just some prima donna who never had any money and just decided to stay home and be a trophy wife. Although at the same time, I guess if that spouse knew that that person was only in it for the money and just being a trophy wife, then you kind of knew what you're getting into. But you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that I can't go make it on my own in one income in Bidenomic land. In Biden's economy, it takes 10 people to a house to be able to afford rent and groceries and power and all of that. So now I'm forced to try to make it on my own when my bills are for a 2-income household. And I have dogs, and I never would have got all my dogs had I known that this was going to happen. I wouldn't have made certain choices had I known that this person was going to betray me and lie to me. If people make these choices not realizing that their partner, this goes for anybody, that their partner is going to screw them over. Now, I understand that's marriage and you can be like, whatever, but what if you're not married and you've invested in this person and you've stood by this person and you have proven time and time again that you aren't going to try to take their money and that you are a very fair person. And if you wanted to take their money or if you wanted to screw them over, you could have, and you've had many opportunities to, but you didn't. And you stood by that person and you've made choices based on being a couple. And then that person breaks the boundaries. Let's say you've discussed these boundaries over and over. Let's say you've had a conversation, a lengthy conversation with your partner on what you will and will not tolerate. And if those boundaries are broken, then that means you're leaving. You're choosing to leave the relationship. And that person agrees. And you continue to remind them, hey, just remember, these are my boundaries. And, we've tried everything and we've made boundaries and we've discussed that if one of us breaks those boundaries, that we're out of here. But now all of a sudden, where am I going to go? Where are you going to go? Are you going to live in your car? If you have dogs, I personally would not want to leave my dogs that have been nothing but loyal to me, that don't deserve this. They don't deserve to go to a shelter because someone lied to me and broke boundaries. And what if I don't want to leave my animals with somebody that may continue or may start, doing that's an addict, and maybe you don't trust, and maybe you feel that the animals aren't safe in their care or were being neglected. I'm not going to leave my animals. People aren't going to leave their animals in a bad situation. At least I wouldn't. Not animals that I love and care for and that I made a commitment to, and they have been with me through thick and thin. I'm saying I wouldn't do that. I'm not speaking about me. I'm just saying I wouldn't do those things. So how does a person supposed to leave if they have animals, if they have kids, if they have bills, and now they have those bills based on a 2-income family, and suddenly in Bidenomics, they're forced to be a 1-income family. And let's say that person doesn't have a job and that person now needs to go find a job. And they don't have a car and there's only one car. What if they're not married? There's common law marriages, but there's not common law marriages in Oregon. They don't, there used to be common law. Now they don't, I can't think, my brain is, they don't not identify. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm tired. So that's not a thing. Yes, I could do squatters' rights. Squatters apparently have way more rights. Illegal immigrants have way more rights. That's really shitty that illegal immigrants and squatters have more rights than I do. More rights than relationships, than people have put in a lot of time and energy and many years into a relationship, and that other person, let's say that other person committed adultery. Let's say that other person committed adultery more than one time. I realize that, if you agree to have pets and you agree to have these things, and then, you just made some dumb decision. I realize it may be a dumb decision, but what if you thought this person was genuinely a good person and they had everybody fooled and then they cheat on you? Why does the innocent person get screwed? Why do they have to be the one that finds a place to live, that finds a job? That's not fair. Because you're not married, now it's like, well, you're not married, so I guess you're just homeless living in your car. But the illegal immigrants, they get homes. If you're black or gay or transgender, you get a home. If you identify as a cat, you get a home. But if you're a veteran, you're homeless. No soup for you, no home, no nothing. If you are a genuinely hard tax-paying legal citizen and you're in a bad relationship and you want to leave and you work full time and all of that, and you're suddenly homeless and screwed. But if you're a squatter, you can just choose a house, sit on the lawn for a while and call it yours and not pay taxes and not pay anything whatsoever. And someone that is paying taxes that used their hard-earned money to buy that home, now suddenly they have to also pay attorney's fees, which they're probably going to lose. And that squatter that suddenly decided the house was theirs, it's suddenly theirs. Or Haitians or illegal immigrants or Venezuelans or just illegal immigrants in general. And again, I'm talking illegal immigrants, so nobody get your freaking panties in a wad or flip out. I'm not talking about legal migrants. I'm not talking about migrants that come here because they're genuinely for real seeking sanctuary and they're doing all they can to be law-abiding citizens. They're doing all they can to work and follow the law and not cause trouble. And they're trying to get jobs. I'm not talking about them, so nobody, get their panties in a wad. I'm talking about all these other people that are taking over, and yet people that actually need help have nowhere to go, have no shelters, have no emergency funds, have no food stamps, have no help with rent. That's a bunch of crap. That is absolutely asinine that people that live here legally, people that pay taxes, people that are hardworking, people that genuinely for real need the help because they need to get out of a bad situation. What if they're in a situation that's abusive? What if they're in a situation that's mentally and or physically abusive? What if they're in a situation that they just need to get out of and they are trying to be safe and they are trying to better themselves and and they've been working and they've always been working and they just need some help? Well, you can't get it because it's all going to the illegal immigrants because we know that Kamala needs them to vote. She needs to steal the votes again. Oh, my cat's here. Hi, Goo. Oh, no, it's Teeny. Hi, Teeny. Hi, Hazel. Hazel is coming to say hi. Come on, Hazel. But it's insane and stressful. Come on, Hazel, come say hi to everybody. This is Hazel Eleanor. Oh, this is Hazel Eleanor. She's a teeny tiny little runt of the litter, all black kitty that I rescued because she was the runt. But man, she is feisty and she is fierce and she is tough and she is like a ninja warrior. Anyway, anybody out there that is trying to better themselves or trying to get out of a bad situation and are running into difficulty, just remember who is running the country right now. Who's been running the country? Why are you having difficulty? Why is it? Is it because our economy is in the toilet and the shelters and apartment complexes are being overran by illegal immigrants? Is it because all of our taxes are going to illegal immigrants and now we are in debt trillions of dollars? Things are not free, people. Things are not free. They are free to those that don't work. They are free to illegals. They are free to lazy people. They are free to people that pretend like they can't work. They are free to the people that contribute nothing whatsoever to society or the planet. But the people that actually care about America and the planet and care about others, and people that actually have always worked and are working, the people that actually pay taxes, well, we're the ones that suffer the consequences. And it makes you wonder, why do we get up every day and go to work for all the rest of you? What if we just all stopped working? What if we all said, you know what? I'm going to get in on this action. I'm going to get in on the lazy mooching off of the government action. I'm going to say that I'm triggered. I'm going to say that I'm offended. I'm going to claim that I identify as the Queen of England and ye all should worship me and bring me shit and fan me and feed me grapes. Or I identify as a transgender, non-binary, binary dog, half cat, and that is also black, half uh, Native American. And I want some money because, God forbid, I'm a veteran that laid down, put my life on the line. God forbid they have a place to stay or have any kind of, hospital bills paid or any kind of actually good insurance or any kind of actually good help to get homes or any good counseling for them. Nah, who cares about them? They just gave us rights and shit. They just put their life down for us. That's all. No big whoop. It's insane. That is why I'm up right now. Can you hear the crickets though? They have a lot to say too. They say FJB, F Kamala Harris. We don't need to fuck Joe Biden anymore. He's already where is he? Where's Joe? It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Joe? He needs to put on a striped shirt so we can all see him when he goes out. We can spot him quickly. There's Joe. Okay. Give him an ice cream cone and a striped shirt like where's Waldo, and we'll be good. Kamala, though, that's who we need to keep an eye on. Not Biden, Kamala. I don't know. I can't sleep. I'm all fired up. I'm scared shitless that Kamala is actually going to win because she has brought in all these illegals. She's going to fake votes just like she fakes everything else. Ugh. What are we going to do, Hazel? What do you think? Hazel Eleanor, does anybody else give their animals middle names? Who else gives their animals middle names? I do. All of my animals. Doesn't matter if it's a fish, turtle, snake. I don't care. Dog, cat, all of them. Every one of them has a middle name. I call people by only their middle name when I'm upset. I don't do the whole entire name thing. Oh, goodness. I stopped petting her and she is not happy. I call my kids by just their middle names, not their entire names when they're in trouble. So I do that with my animals too. But anyway, side note. Eat the cats, eat the dogs, eat the dogs, eat the cats. Anyway, so on that note, those are some things that have been on my mind. Thank you so much again for everybody that has been listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hazel says thank you. I say thank you. I can't say thank you enough. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your family, tell your friend, tell everybody. I started to say tell your friends again. I'm really tired. But thank you. I very much am appreciative, super grateful for everybody that listens to me babble on and on about absolutely nothing with my cat in the background or cows or, you never know what is going to happen. You never know who's going to show up. Wow, I hear another cat. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to the ramblings of an insomniac. Until next time.